Hi everyone, it's December 5th, 2008, recording a quick video in regards to a potential ET experience. Well, it was an ET experience, I guess. And what I want to relate was another topic, mostly to capture something that my friend Fred felt was given to him. And I wanted to preface that comment. Now, in this case, what had happened is when I had my experience the night before, as the light appeared, I had a word impressed upon me, and it was Angelics, plural. And that's just simple as that. I just had this feeling of Angelics, you know, and it just was like 2 or 3 times. It just was like this statement that you would have, you know, that you would make. And I picked it up, and I came back to my friend Fred, and I had, you know, told him that. So unfortunately, I wish that, you know, Fred would have experienced it before me saying it, because, you know, we don't want to believe that anyone's picking up, or Fred's picking up, you know, suggestions. So we're going to cut over to Fred, and then Fred's going to read for you something that he heard during the statement of intent, and heard or felt. We won't really say heard, more felt. So what we're trying to do here is capture an experience, or some words that you felt. Say it as anything, and we're going to try to do it now. One thing I will say, I really want to mention here, is that when you heard these words, you felt they were loving as opposed to fearful.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you had no fear when you heard these words?
No.
So if there are any of these words that are in what you have to say fearful to a human, then that was not the feeling you had.
No, the only feeling that I had was of peace and love.
Okay, so why don't you start with first what you felt. What was the first, what happened? You describe it.
Well, first of all, at one point, there's various positions that you and I were actually in that night, this night. And so the first time I heard angelic. But it's sort of like a force and a feeling at the same time, and it's not so much like I'm hearing voices or anything like that. It's not like that. It's more of like an impression that's made on my conscience or internal. Okay, so then after this, Jeff, you suggested to me that perhaps we could have like 5 minutes that we would just be silent, but maybe state our intent. So we were looking. We both did this separately. We did not state this out loud. We did this with our mind, sort of, so to speak, telepathically, if you will. I just had understood it to be to basically let these beings know what I wanted to.
So you're sort of like projecting your thought.
Right.
Okay, because there has been no prior discussion over these matters before tonight. So let's go on. What did you hear after this?
So after this, I'm facing another direction towards the light that we had both seen.
Well, the light hadn't appeared at this point, though.
Yeah, this is before the light appeared, but it was in the it was
same
in the
direction as the light would appear.
Would appear
in the future.
In the future, yeah.
Right.
So then, again, it was a separate time, but I heard angelic being, and again, it's like it was more like an impression, more of like a force, an internal thing. It wasn't a voice or anything, but it was sort of like an introduction of who these beings are, and and again, I felt just peace and joy, love, nothing ill. And here's what came to me during this discovery, if you will, after the statement of our intent had been. I waited for a while until after Jeff, you were when we were both done the meditative aspect there, and so what came to me was like a rhyme or a poem, and it came in 2 parts. There was a slight pause, and so there was 2 parts. And the first part was, coming by day, I'm coming by dawn. I'm coming all day, we're coming to spawn. Then there was a pause. The second part was, when you come in, come in as you will, take what you want, and just be still.
Now, I got to ask you something. Now, the reason why you have that written down is because I had a little mini camcorder with me.
Right.
And at that time, we just used that camcorder
That's
for
right.
the audio. So the minute it was fresh in your mind,
That's right.
the first thing I did is I said, Fred, hold that thought. I'm going to turn this camcorder on, and you're going to speak exactly what you heard while you're still thinking it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then just 5 minutes ago, what we did is we played back that camcorder recording,
That's right.
and then wrote down the words. So I just want to make sure that we weren't out there at night and
No.
trying to, or it's not an hour later. It was
No.
fresh based on recordings.
That's right. It came. This happened during that same time period that we were discussing in another video, that or another channel, or anyway.
It's the same channel, just different video. I have to break
video.
them up. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's what happened. And,
Now, how many poems in your life have you written?
Maybe 10
Okay. When's the last time you wrote a poem?
years.
Years.
Yeah.
And so this is not something where you write a lot of poems or whatever, or you usually would think that way, where you're out somewhere
Definitely not.
and it's impressed upon you. So this is kind of a strange event for a poem to come to you, is what I'm saying.
It was. Yeah, it was. Usually a poem would come to me more like first thing in the morning or something. Here it is, like with earlier, it was like around the supper hour.
Right.
So I wouldn't. I didn't go down there looking for anything like.
Well, you didn't even know what I was doing with you down there.
No, as a matter of fact, Jeff just comes over. You come over and say, yeah. So I'm ready for a coffee. I haven't had a coffee all day. You want to go for a coffee? I'm like, yeah, sure. And so the next thing you know, we're down by the water. We're down by the water, and he brings me into this madness.
Spread the delusion. Okay.
He brings me into this madness, and gosh darn it, now I can't get away from it because he got me to the point that I witnessed with my own eyes, with my own spirit, and with my own. With my own frequency, and we were on all the same wavelength, and I mean, hey, this is pretty exciting stuff.
So what do you think is going to happen in the future? I'm curious. Let's record that real quickly. What do you think is going to happen?
I believe, hopefully, more sightings and more messages. Yeah.
And it's something where that may be the only message you ever receive.
If that's all that I see, that's fine.
Right. I mean, it's something where this is not
Can't make it happen.
Right. And I don't hear anything, but I can feel things.
Sure.
And that's the way I do. I feel something. I feel an intent. I feel a thought is impressed upon me. And anyway,